MacOS Mojave. Today we're going to look at some killer features that they've just announced at the WWDC keynote. Stick around. G'day, this is Doug from Doug Hewson YouTube, and we're here to talk about tech for content creation. And today it's Apple Week, it's WWDC week, and a couple of days ago we had the keynote address for WWDC where Apple announced some more software updates and OS updates, iOS 12 and tvOS update and Apple Watch updates and different things like that. But the one we're talking about today is the new macOS Mojave, the new iteration of macOS 10.14, and we're going to look at some of the features they announced that are actually killer features for those who are content creators, things that are going to help users of Macs be more streamlined in their content creation. So if you're into that sort of thing, then why not consider subscribing? We talk about all sorts of tech in relation to content creation, whether it's platforms, gear, software and apps. We talk about it here on the channel and a bit of YouTube as well, because YouTube is one of those platforms. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to touch on the features that I consider ones that are going to be helpful for content creators. But firstly, I want to touch on dark mode. Now, the reason why I think dark mode is going to be helpful to content creators, it helps people focus in on the work they're doing. So all the Apple and stock apps on Mac will automatically be in dark mode, and then there will be an API for developers who are developing for Mojave that they can also have their apps have a dark mode. Now, if you've used Final Cut Pro, for example, it already is in a dark mode situation, and it helps in focusing on your timeline and your editing. Instead of having like your grey silver sort of frames around your windows, you've got that dark mode. Helps you focus in and helps you like really nut down. So I think for a content creator point of view, that's a really good thing. Now with the dark mode, you have the option of either having dark mode or the regular mode, so you can toggle that on and off at your leisure. First of all, let's talk about, seeing we're talking about dark mode and the desktop, let's talk more about the desktop, and the next thing is the dynamic stacks. So basically what that is, instead of having all the little icons cluttered over your desktop, if you're one of those people that ends up with a lot of icons on your desktop, you'll be able to click a button and have them all stack depending on what type of content they are. So like all your documents will stack up together, all your photos will stack up together, video content will stack up together, and so that you can just go over to that stack or whatever particular type it is and scrub through the content there. Now related to that feature is also an upgrade to Finder. So what they've done in Finder is they've given it a gallery mode, so you can actually better see the content instead of in simple lists or really tiny thumbnails. You're able to, say you had a folder of photos, you'd be able to have the photos across the bottom in little thumbnails, but in the top you've got a large preview, like a preview mode, so you can have like a decent size look at that, whether it's a video, if it's a document, a PDF, it will open up and show you preview mode, because it's just like preview, but preview mode, and it's built within Finder. Now related to that is the upgrade to the preview app, which is now they're going to call Quick Look, where you can, if you double click on say a PDF, it would open up a PDF in preview. If you open up a photo in preview, open up a document, you'll be able to do more effective things in Quick Look than just previewing something. You actually be able to get your fully featured markup, like markup is available on iOS in Notes app and Photos and different things like that. You can now actually have a fully featured markup process in the Quick Look. So you'll be able to get in there and mark things up, add your signature to a document. It's very suited to content creation, very suited to productivity. So it'll help you if you're marking up a document, send it to a co-worker, send it to someone else you might be collaborating with. Say your video production, you want to make some notes, you send some notes to somebody, they can write on it and send them back. So you can mark up with all the features that are in the existing markup, part of iOS. All those will be over on the Mac as well as part of a Quick Look. Now the next thing is screenshots. Now you can already take screenshots on the Mac currently using your shortcut keys and that take basic shortcuts of maybe a window or your whole desktop. It says here, screenshots deliver new on-screen controls for easy access to every screenshot option and a new video recording capabilities. So say you want to do a screen record record a tutorial, something like that. This will be all built in instead of having to go to QuickTime. So you'll be able to do it all from the desktop. Pretty awesome. That's a killer feature for the screenshots, is to have on the Mac for productivity, for content creation, for tutorial makers particularly. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm going to give that a whirl and see the quality of that when that one comes out later in September or so when it releases. Now the other awesome thing for content creators, especially those that collaborate, is group FaceTime, which is also coming to iOS 12, but in macOS Mojave, group time will be available. So you can, anybody who's a FaceTime contact, you'll be able to bring in up to, I believe it's 28 people, if you ever need that many. But you know, if you're doing a solid 4, 5, 6 people, if you're having a group meeting or something like that, then it's a no-brainer indeed. So I think that's a killer feature for collaboration in particular. And it doesn't matter if they're on macOS as well. They can be on an iPhone or an iPad or wherever else that they have FaceTime and join the conversation. So it's very cross device in particular, as long as you've got FaceTime. And the final thing that I think is interesting for the content creator in particular is continuity camera, which is basically a feature which will allow you to access the camera on your iPhone from your Mac. So you can take a photo and bring it straight into a document or a program that you need it to be in on a Mac. So that's another killer feature, is to access that better quality camera that's on your iPhone. You know, if you've got an iPhone 10 or an iPhone 8, something like that with a 4K potential camera, then that's a killer feature, because the Macs tend not to have as good a camera as the iPhones. So there's some killer features there for this new macOS Mojave. So what are your thoughts? Put them in the comments below. Let me know which features you think are going to be killer for what you do on your Mac. Now, some other points that come out in the Mac that are maybe not particularly related to content creation, but I'm going to mention them real quick here. I'm just going to list them off. New privacy and security features, particularly around Safari and about web browsing, keeping your browsing a little bit more private, because apparently they can track you by what's called fingerprinting. And I'm not talking about this sort of fingerprint. We're talking about your habits online and the uniqueness of your machine. The other thing is there's going to be some new built-in apps, stock apps and news apps, which are being ported directly from iOS. So these are what have been iOS apps that have been adapted and brought into macOS as a stock app. And the final thing I just want to quickly mention is they're revamping the App Store, the Mac App Store for Mac apps. They're going to have new categories, they're going to have new layout, they're going to have new content. Like one of the major ones they mentioned was Microsoft Office 365 will be available in the Mac App Store on macOS Mojave. Guess there's many other features to macOS Mojave that might be interesting to you. If I haven't mentioned them, why didn't you mention them in the comments below and tell me what you're looking forward to on macOS Mojave? If you know someone who's into content creation and would probably like to know more about the gears, the apps, the platforms and more, then why not consider sharing this video or even sharing the channel with them. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe and check the bell so you don't miss the next episode, the next video on this channel. This is Doug from Hewson YouTube, and I'll catch you later.